Good morning. How's everyone doing? We're so happy you're here with us today. And my name is Johnny O, and I'm one of the hosts here. We have, of course.
Good morning.
And to my left.
Hi, Daniel Garcia. Welcome back, guys.
So today we've got a great show planned for you. The theme today, we wanted to get a theme to wrap up the 2 days to really pull it all together. And today, for the next 2 days, we're going to be focusing on service and Tong Len. Now, Tong Len is a wonderful meditation. Very, very briefly, it's the idea of in meditation, taking away the suffering of others and offering them every happiness, and how that affects everything inside of you and how it flowers into the world, into your own well-being. So it's really wonderful. And we're also going to be donating money to the Tong Len Service Project, which is really wonderful. There's due to COVID and economic strife and war, it's been hard for people to get to from all over the world to get to serve Diamond Mountain and the Lam Rim retreats. So this is a program designed to funnel money to get people to help and volunteer and to help them just live and have, cover their costs in order to be of service. So we'll be talking about what it means to be of service and how it benefits you in very deep ways. So and that's the heart of our show. So we hope you get the feeling of what it means to serve.
Yeah. And so just to add a little bit to that, to the schedule for the next couple days include several exciting interviews. We have one with the Mixed Nuts Translators for the Diamond Cutter Classics program. So we're very excited that they're going to be with us. They're going to be telling us a lot about the text that they're translating and how we can support their work in the future. Again, this is basically how we're getting a lot of the wisdom in the organizations these days is through translating these ancient wisdom texts. So we'll have them with us. We're very excited to have Stanley and Allison as well on our show. Xiaoping, forgive me, Xiaoping and Stanley will be on the show talking about their amazing new program with Geshe Michael Roach. They started a university in Kyoto, Japan. So we're going to take a special time that they're going to take over the desk and tell us all about their exciting work. We are hoping to have a special guest tomorrow. We haven't gotten confirmation yet, but tomorrow we're going to have a segment for the Diamond Cutter Institute, which will be all about their upcoming tour for Latin America. So, anybody who wants to tune into those talks, that wisdom teaching, will get information on that tomorrow. And as part of our Tong Len theme, we're also going to do an auction on today's show. So if you're allowed to participate in the auction, it's great. If you're not allowed to participate, then please don't. But we're using this as an opportunity to raise some money to help for this Tong Len Service Grant, which we'll tell you all about. It's an excellent program designed to help people serve. So we're looking forward to that. And we also have a great talk scheduled, which will be a preview into the upcoming retreat in Guadalajara. So it's a continuation of a Lam Rim text. And Geshe Michael's with us live in the studio today. We're very blessed. And he's going to do a little sneak preview for that teaching that we have coming up in Mexico in July. So we'll be showing some promos for the upcoming retreat, and we'll get a little sneak preview as to the topic that's going to be covered in that retreat. So please stay tuned. As usual, we'll have a 10-minute break. And did I leave anything out? Anybody want to say anything?
I think it's I think it's about time Juan should be here, right? I don't know where he is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Where's Juan? Anybody know where Juan is?
He's probably in bed. He's probably in bed or something.
Early siesta.
Yeah, all right. So
Well,
I
if
get,
anyone knows where Juan is, let us know. Let us know in the
yeah,
chat.
if anybody knows where Juan is in the chat, please let us know. If we haven't figured it out, we're gonna do a survey. I think we're waiting on Juan. So if anybody knows, let us know.
So yeah, you definitely got to hear Geshe Michael's talk is going to be only applicable to those of us who have difficulties in our lives. So if you don't have any difficulties in your life, you can go watch some cartoons. So, yeah. So I think we covered everything. I just wanted to show you this book. This is a limited edition hardcover book on the diamond cutter, and this is one of the best-selling books that Geshe Michael has authored, and it's going to be specially signed by Geshe Michael, and it'll be really nice collector's items. So if you're interested in helping people, then you might want to put a bid in the auction there. So
yeah, so just to add to that, this is we're auctioning this off. It's a first edition copy, so this was actually released in the year 2000. They're very difficult to come by now. You can try to find a used copy online if you get lucky, if there's any more left. And but so we were able to get our hands on a few copies, and Geshe Michael has agreed to sign it and to personalize it. So I find that my soft cover version is always breaking down. So the hardcover will last a lot longer. And this is what, so frankly, anybody who's interested in winning this auction, we're gonna go ahead and start taking the bids now in the chat. It'll be a silent auction throughout today's show and tomorrow's show. And at the end of tomorrow's show, we'll wrap it up and we'll see how much we're going to be able to give to the Tong Len Service Grants. So this is what's up for bids, and feel free to enter your bids throughout the show.
whoa, I see we've already got $200.
Okay.
I was gonna offer 50, but 1,000. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna offer.
Whoa.
Wow,
All right.
cool. Well, so the bidding is so far is up to 1,000. So
we're like 8 minutes in the show.
we'll keep going
Okay,
throughout
well,
the show.
We're gonna finalize the auction at the end of the second day. So I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. So that's pretty exciting. So so that in a nutshell is what we're going to be covering. Possibly we might have some music. We're going to have some Q&A if we have time at the end of the show. But we know how things go.
Yeah.
There's lots of interesting people saying lots of interesting things. So thanks so much for being here. I think we'll keep moving on, and we'll get ready to have the mixed nuts interview. So I'm going to bid you adieu.
Okay, bye.
Adieu. We'll catch you
Adieu.
later. And then let's look for our panelists. So up next, we're gonna have Nick Lashaw and some of his cohorts from the Mixed Nuts group. If you don't know what that means, we'll let you know what that means. They're doing some amazing work with translation. It takes a very special mind to dedicate much time and effort to learn what's essentially a dead language. So we'll hear from those guys hopefully very shortly. We'll see. Yep, they'll be coming up on the screen momentarily. So
Hey, Johnny O.
whoa, I hear Nick Lashaw.
Hey,
There he is.
We're all here.
Oh, there he is. Look at that handsome guy. Seiji. And
Hey, good morning.
I haven't seen you in such a long time, Adam. That's great. So there we are. So let's take a moment and introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about what you do for the program. Let's start to my left. Actually, everyone's going to be in different boxes. So.
All right. So hi everybody. I'm Nicholas Shaw. This is my second time here on the Peach Free World News with Johnny O. And I'm the director of the Diamond Cutter Classics Translation Program, which means that I am, in addition to being one of the translators, I do a bunch of administrative work and still try to find time to translate. It's really an honor to get to be part of this program. And I like the way you put it, it's like we have the opportunity to just put a bunch of time and effort into finding ideas and making sense of them in these ancient books. And I'm really grateful to be a part.
Seiji, tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, Johnny. Good morning.
Good
Good evening
morning.
to our Asia guest. My name is Seiji Arao. I'm also one of the mixed nuts, and I'm extremely happy to be here. The work that I do for the mixed nuts is basically translating one of the books. Well, Geshe Michael is the one who's translating. We're learning to translate ourselves. And the book that I'm translating, that I have been translating, it's a Lojong book, which is a book that's supposed to help us develop a good heart, to help us get rid of our selfishness, of our self-cherishing. And at the same time, it's a book that teaches us something that is called seed correlations, meaning if you want to have a specific result in your life, you should do a certain thing. Or the way that the book puts it is, if you're having certain problem, how to trace it back to the exact seed, to the exact thing that you did in the past. And since it's a problem, by definition, we don't like it, right? So how to do the solution, how to stop doing what's causing that problem in order to get rid of it in the future. So that's pretty much it. Thank you, Johnny.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And Adam, what's going on?
Hey, John. Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it, man?
It's
good to good to see you again. Yeah, my name's Adam Andrade. I live in Colorado, which is a perk of, I think, being one of the translators. We're kind of spread out a little bit, and it's snowing here. So yeah, it's quite beautiful outside. But yeah, like I think, like Seiji was saying, we've all kind of got our own subjects that we focus on as McNuts, and mine has been logic and reasoning. So the first text that we went through was called, the title we used was The Door to Emptiness. But it was focusing mainly on what's called the collected topics literature. And we finished that one up. It went to publication last November. And we're currently on my second book right now, which is still dealing with logic and perceptual theory, or how do we know what exists, and how do we know the qualities of it, the qualities of what exists and what doesn't exist.
fascinating. So everyone wants to know, why is it called mixed nuts? Why is that? Which begs the question. No, let's edit that. Let's edit that comment. Why is it mixed nuts? Nick, you don't know what I was thinking. Don't think.
No,
So,
no,
why is it called mixed nuts? What does that mean?
Well, this is even before Seiji's time. Seiji joined us about 5.5 years ago. I guess we started 6 years ago. But we started by meeting in the scriptorium, which is a little office in that building right next to Seiji. And there in that scene that looks like Italy, which is kind of amazing. But we have a room, well, we had an office up there that was kind of the center of our operations. And we would get together 3 times per year to learn the art of translation from Geshe Michael. And we had a long table that was very low to the ground. And we would all be sitting around this table. And we were paying attention for 6 hours a day to very difficult texts. So we had to be eating constantly 5 hours a day. and we had to be snacking constantly. So there was always mixed nuts on the table. I think Xiaoping usually brought them. And we were just constantly eating, and we were trying to figure out a name for the program. And I think Geshe Michael was suggesting some names like Unreasonably Happy. And there were some other ones, but somehow we just landed on mixed nuts because there was always mixed nuts, and we are all a little bit nuts, and we're from everywhere in the world. And, you know, not in a bad way. You just got to be a little nuts to translate the Dura for 25 years, or translate what I'm working on, which has been Nagarjuna.
Wow. So that is an interesting question. So we're trying to let people know that in, let's see, May 21st to June 3rd, there's going to be a Diamond Cutter Classics translation program. And we're going to talk more about that continually. And so what I'm curious to know, it's like, maybe Seiji, you can tell me this. What kind of a person is a translator? Why are they so interested in learning, which is essentially a dead language? What is so exciting about this kind of work that you would dedicate such time and effort?
That's a great question. I can tell you a little bit of what I think is a translator, but I'll ask our fellow translators here. For me, well, the main thing is, I think we all came to the different worldview projects. For those of you who don't know, worldview projects is what we call the company started by Geshe Michael. We all came because we're attracted to the seat system, right? To find out how the world works. You know, for example, we say, if you want money, should be generous. So all those and many principles. On my part, I'm very involved with DCI, and I love the teachings that we do. And all of those, from the part of DCI, ACI, all those the worldview organizations, they all come from the ancient books. So for me, a mixed nut is someone who's interested in learning why to learn this dead language, because I would say, I think 90-something percent, 95% of the books that remain need to be translated. I think what has made it, for example, to DCI, I don't know, I don't think even a 1% of that has made it to DCI. And we have so much content already. So I think for me, the main reason to become a translator of a dead language is just because of that, because the books are in that language. So it's ALL in that sense, ALL, the company that brings all these books, that scans these books, have done their job. They're scanned, they're there ready, but someone needs to translate it. So that's where we come in. And that's why I think Jeru agrees. So that's why we all are learning to translate this language, so that these teachings can be kept alive and to be kind of like buried out and shown to the world.
And oh, there you go. There's the QR code. Thank you, Brian. There's the QR code if you want more information. There it is. And so Adam, I'd like to know, as learning on perceptual theory, has there ever been some challenge or difficulty in your personal life where in the middle of translating, you had some kind of aha, where an answer or some kind of insight came to you from the ancient past? Or I'd like to know a little bit about how translating these texts has changed your personal life.
Yeah. Once again, John, I never said thank you for having me too. This is really,
Welcome.
So, I think rather than something specific, it's kind of filtered into all interactions, not just difficult ones. It's allowed me to kind of take and be happy and thankful for the good things that have happened to me too. So specifically regarding, logic and reasoning and master dharmakirti, we're taught, really the main focus of what I'm translating is to identify different ways that we perceive things. So we look at, what we can see with what we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But then we've got another way that we perceive things via reasoning and using our mind to tie things together. And, I think really what it helped me realize was that the world is, oh yeah, okay, there's the QR code, sorry. The world is more than what I can just perceive with my eyes or I can hear. I think the biggest thing that helped me to realize is not to say that I've realized it fully, but that karma and its actions are true, karma and its results. And that kind of filtered over into everything, allowing me to kind of rejoice in the good things that are happening to me, and also being aware of, not reacting in a difficult situation.
Yeah. Wonderful. So I'd like to open up that question to everyone else and see what about the Mixed Nuts program has altered you in how you deal with your friends and family and loved ones. Like what about this? It's translating. It sounds dry, but and it sounds tedious, like sitting and just looking at things. But I'd like to hear more about how this work has flowered into the happiness of your lives, if any. So,
I mean, I would say that I second what Adam says, is that sitting in, 5 hours a day for 2 weeks at a time of these classes and just absorbing that, these ideas, which are at times beyond what we can grasp in the moment, but just being there and absorbing it all has done something very powerful to my mind as well. And I imagine all of us, and Geshe Michael himself comments on how it affects him. So, I would say that it just gives me the ability to kind of keep my mind at a level where the ideas that are in this Dharma or in this wisdom are just kind of flowing through my mind in a more perpetual way, as I think happens when you're practicing a lot or studying a lot. So it's kind of just, I feel like we're really, really fortunate and just very, just blessed and lucky to have a career that involves us keeping our minds steeped in these ideas, because it makes us into people who, by force are thinking on these things, cogitating, as it were, constantly. And then hopefully if we do it right, we can become the kind of people that can help others apply these ideas in their world, whether they're having problems or whether they themselves are happy and want to use it to help other people, or both, probably. So I just want to say one thing about that. If you have any availability during the time of this program, I strongly suggest you come. You don't have to make it to every class. You don't have to do any homework. And you don't have to understand everything we're talking about. And if you just show up and sit through some of the classes, I think it will make a pretty profound impact on your life, and you'll learn a lot, and we have fun. So I really suggest you come and check it out. And the price is pretty low for what it is, quite low. So even if you can't make the whole thing, I would say it's well worth it to sign up and join. And the money goes to help us keep this organization going into the future, so we can keep translating and grow our operations.
nice. Great. Seiji, do you have any thoughts on that question?
Thanks, John. Yeah, for me, one of my favorite things about Mixed Nuts is that each book has a very different topic. I mean, I would say in general, the purpose of these books is to help you create a better world around you, create a better reality. But the way that each book tackles it is very different. So by going to the different classes, you learn you acquire different skills. For example, and bringing it back to DCI, Geshe Michael just took Adam's book, a logic book, and turned it into a manual of how to be able to move, for example, a dream image of a perfect apartment in your mind into the real world. So for me, I mean, with the help of Geshe Michael, of course, getting the pure teachings and how to apply them is just incredible. And for example, logic has helped me a lot to see when I'm having a problem, to see where the holes in my thinking are. My book on self-cherishing has helped me see that most of the day, for example, I'm just thinking of myself. I'm being selfish. They call it self-cherishing, thinking that you are the most valuable treasure in the world. Another book, for example, talks about how if you want to live in an organized society, whatever that means to you, there's certain rules of conduct that help keep peace in communities. So that's I don't know. I think you learn, in general, you learn how to make the world a better place, but through different skills, different ways of thinking, or different ways to approaching it. So that's, for me, that's the big value of Mixed Nuts.
So if I want to come, would someone like me, who I don't know Tibetan, like what is the draw for someone who's not a translating geek like it? And I mean that as a compliment. Why would I come to this upcoming session if I don't have a particular interest in translating languages? What can normal people get out of it? You guys ain't normal.
Yeah, something I've noticed is we've been working in sections. So Geshe Michael kind of breaks out, where it's not just long flows of text. He kind of breaks them out, and he has section headers. And I think to somebody that's not translating or looking to translate, somebody that's maybe doesn't have the technical background, or maybe hasn't been studying Buddhism for a decade. Geshe Michael is a master teacher. I mean, my opinion, he's the greatest in the world, and he can take pretty much the most complicated or abstract kind of thought and break it down to something practical. And so even if you're coming, you'll get jewels all class long. Yeah. So if you've got a basic background in Buddhism, Geshe Michael will find a way to make it relevant to you. Yeah, I don't think there should be any worry. Just come and put yourself there and listen.
Yeah, I agree, and I just want to second that by saying that it's like I sat through. I agree with what Adam said. He can make anything practical and understandable for all of us. Which so if you just get yourself there, he'll do the hard part for you. And also, like, I studied with him for many years before we started this program, and I felt like I always wanted, like, and I feel like all of us, we always wanted like a peek under the hood to see like what's really the teachings, like what's the deepest stuff, like what's the straight dope, as they say, the hardcore stuff. And this is it, these are the classes where you get to go straight to the kind of the way that he was learning it when he was studying, in India and in New Jersey all those years. And And even stuff that he didn't study, some of it. So we go far and deep into the real inner workings of this material that has been developed. So and then the more you come, the more you can start to see the connections between, what you learn in DCI, what you learn in ACI, and where it's all coming from.
Wonderful. Wow. If you missed the QR code, we're going to put it up again in the break. And also all the QR codes and all the programs that are upcoming will be at peachtreeworldnews.com. And there'll be a big page which has all the flyers of what's coming up. And we'll put those up today or tomorrow. So if you missed the information, it'll be there for you, because believe me, these guys want you there. And I think that's all the time we have we could talk about this much longer, and we will. We're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to delve into the program and talk more about what they have for the future and what's further down the line. And I want to thank you guys so much for your time. It's wonderful to see your beautiful faces. And thank you so much for the work that you're doing. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you sooner than later, I hope. And we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, take care. So now, that was great. We're gonna go over to Daniel, and we're gonna check in on the auction a little bit, and he's gonna let us know what's up. So, all right, over to you, D.
So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Seiji. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, John. Wow, isn't John awesome? John's getting his chance to shine on this show, really. He's been stuck at the tech table this whole time. And for some reason, Juan still hasn't shown up to work today. So we got a bulletin out searching for Juan. We don't have any leads yet, but oh, what? Wait, what's that? Oh, we just got an email. Juan's late for work. He's on his way, though. We'll forgive him for being late today. So we're going to have to see what he was up to, why he was late for work. But so, yeah, I mean, wasn't that an amazing interview? So from me personally, I find those classes to be extremely valuable, whether you can give it your undivided attention or whether you just have it on in the background while you're driving or while you're cooking or cleaning. It's amazing. I find that name Mixed Nuts to apply also not just to the translators, but to, I feel, the audience that it could attract, because whether you're looking for something very deep, very profound, if you're like on the spectrum of your wisdom studies where you're like a scholar and you like to learn incredibly detailed information, it's just for you. And then if you're kind of just a little bit, you kind of just want some simple, easy, practical advice, just, in one sentence that you can then apply to the rest of your day, then that's also what you get at the Mixed Nuts. Because as I think Adam was saying, Geshe is an incredibly masterful teacher, and he will take something very complicated and make it very easy to digest. It doesn't matter at all what you studied in the past, doesn't matter what size spoon you use for your Cheerios, big spoon or little spoon. There's really something for everyone. And it goes a long way. These translations will be with us for many generations, and many generations will be using them to make, something, an offering for many other different minds. Even if you just think about one author of one of those texts, it took so much training and love and dedication for them to write that book, to be able to write that book. And then the same amount of effort and work is being put into saving this wisdom for, hundreds of years in this world, so that we can just be happy. I mean, all of these books were written so that we could be happy. Different skills and different tools, including the theme of today's show, which talks about how to take away suffering and how to give happiness to people. And these kinds of ideas come from these texts that are being translated by the Mixed Nuts. So I highly recommend, even if you can only catch 10 minutes of one class, you'll get something for the rest of your life. So I think if you have a chance, definitely follow that QR code and sign up for these classes, because they're absolutely incredible. And do we have an update on the auction, anything? No updates yet. I think the bidding was at 1,000, but anyway, so yeah, just a reminder, if you want to place a silent bid. But so next, what we have coming up for you guys is a really beautiful opportunity to learn more about a program that is going to change this world, that by Xiaoping, Stanley, and Geshe Michael. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cut over to our news desk and let's hear all about the DSEU Master's Degree Program.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, PTWN News, for giving us this chance to talk about this new exciting project. For us, it's another creative and profound way to serve the world, which is the topic today. I'm Stanley Chen, one of the founders of this university, and I'm here with the two main brains and forces of this new project, Joe Xiaoping and then Geshe Michael himself. So I'm going to be the MC for this part, and I'm going to throw them some hard and interesting questions. So we just came back from Kyoto in March.
Yes.
Yeah, March. And then we just did the opening of this university. So I want to ask Xiaoping first.
Okay.
It has been over a month since we finished the grand opening when the Sakura opened, beautiful in Kyoto. What's new to your work? What are you working on recently as the president, the Madam President of this university? Yeah.
I do all the dirty work.
Good.
I do all the necessary thing to start this university.
Would you give us some examples?
To get ready, we have an official beginning of our first EMBA and MBA program in June, June 21st to June 24th. So besides our Professor Geshe Michael Roach to prepare for our course, and I prepare all the necessary thing needed to get it started, like building up a dream team to chase this vision, make it happen, and talk to our academic consultants to make sure we meet the needs of the accreditation.
Yes.
Talk to real estate people because we are buying a land for our Sedona campus.
This is a two campuses university, by the way, one in Sedona, one in Kyoto, Japan.
Starting the Princeton Alumni Weekly magazine to study how to build American higher institution. So that's what I've been doing in this month.
Yeah, sounds a lot of fun and challenge. I will ask you more about your work. Details. Now I'm going to ask Geshe Michael. We know you're super busy, and then the university is one of your new projects. So what are you working on for this project recently, and what excites you?
Well, our president, Xiaoping, gave me a job, and she said, can you write some textbooks that would last for a long time? And obviously, I have many, many books I'm writing every year and translating, and I don't have a lot of time. So when she first said, can you write, just write 10 textbooks or something? And I'm like, no, I can't do it. And then, So what I did was I started writing essays.
Yeah.
And in France, in Europe, in the United States, about 200 years ago, there was a tradition of called essayist. And this is a person who will write 10 or 20 pages. Like, for example, during the French Revolution or the American Revolution, somebody named Thomas Paine, for example, wrote many famous papers about 20 pages each. And then later those were collected together into textbooks. So I got inspired by them, and I thought I will write essays, 10 or 20 pages. And then later they will easily go into some textbooks. So for me, it seems more doable, and I don't get freaked out that I have to finish a book, you know. So, and it's incredible. It's working out really nice.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then if I would say for President Xiaoping, 16 courses is not 10.
I was thinking not to
Okay.
It's fine. You have years to
Yeah,
prepare.
yeah. So I know it's not an easy thing. It's actually a big project,
Yes.
And it's a lot on your shoulder, Xiaoping. And so I want to ask you the next question. As someone from a different cultural background, you're working on a university based in US. So you have to learn all the new rules of the higher education system, meeting all the lawyers, learning their languages, you know, talking to professors in different universities. What's the main challenges nowadays for you as the president, and what's your strategy to tackle all of these challenges?
Thank you. Great question. Our university is very unique. It's really unique, not because it's the university we are founding. It's because this university demonstration will be a combination. We call it, we have this mudra. It's called modern and classic, and East and West. So it's a combination of modern and classic and East and West. So it will be very unique, and no one else have done it before. So honestly, I think it will be a challenge for anyone else also, and even for American, because we are building American institution, which are having two campuses, one campus in Sedona, one campus in Kyoto. So I think it'll be a challenge for anyone because nobody has done it before. But for me, of course, it's a challenge for me, but also full of fun, because to make this vision come true, I need to do all the necessary thing to put everything together. Like you mentioned, to learn how to, we have hired strong attorneys, and I need to talk to them in their language, like talk to our tax attorney, accreditation attorney, corporate attorney, different kinds of attorneys, and we have academic consultants. I need to learn to talk to them. They are university dean, professors. So I'm learning to use their language, and also trying to build up a strong team. It will be international right now to hire staff from faculty, and they will be from different countries. So already some will be based in Japan, some will be in US, some will be in China. So it's just need to learn many new things. But I think it is also most challenging part, but also most fun part, I think, is trying to together. I think us founders and all the team will need to learn how to apply the classical part, the Eastern part, and combine it with the American higher education system. So I think this combination will be very fun and challenging.
It's kind of mixed nuts meets Princeton.
Oh.
So I think it's a lot of fun. Yesterday, I studied the Princeton Alumni Weekly magazine that I recommended And also I borrowed it from Professor Geshe Michael. And I was studying, I was thinking, oh, there are many things to do, but they are full of fun for me.
Yeah. I think we both understand that you are stuck with it for the rest of your life. It's great job. And it's definitely a learning process. And luckily, we have a great source to learn from. The one who has both mixed, well, actually, who founded Mixed Nuts and who take the essence from Princeton. So I want to ask Geshe Michael another question. I know you're writing different essays for different topics, like organizational behavior, you have innovation, you have negotiation, you have talent recruiting. And then you actually started something new. You decided to write a series of essays on our core philosophy, compare and contrast. So among all of this that you already started to work on, which is your recent favorite? And can you tell us a little more about it?
I think, I started DCI Global, and we have done now 15 years of manuals. Each year we come out with a new manual. We just came out with a level 3 manual, 300 pages of work, really difficult. And then suddenly when I was in Kyoto at our grand opening during Sakura season, which is the opening of the cherry blossoms, then I was writing some of these essays, and I suddenly had a huge insight. And as the Mixed Nuts guys mentioned, I think when you spend a lot of time around these ancient books, it begins to affect you. And then you start to have great ideas unexpectedly. And suddenly I realized that DCI, even though I've worked on it for 15 years, I didn't really put in there my personal business experiences. And I started in management at Princeton. I was hired as a manager of a company my junior year. So 1972 or 73, I was already managing a company. And then I have all these experiences.
50 years.
50 years of experiences, exactly 50 years of experiences. And I've been writing essays about my own personal experiences. And I think the one that's most fun has been the essays on negotiation and different styles of negotiation. We just finished an essay, and we just finished filming a show about what do you do when the negotiation is failing. And that's an important lesson. I've never seen it in a textbook before, but it happens. And I used to negotiate thousands of business deals in the diamond business, and that was one of my jobs. And I thought it would be interesting for students to learn what to do when a negotiation is failing, and what to do when something looks like it's not going to work, how to turn that around, how to use the time, how to turn that into a learning experience, how to come back to the next negotiation with more wisdom. And that's just one of 20 or 30 essays that we've been working on. And for me, it's a lot of fun to pull out the actual experiences of my business life. And that's how these essays and that's how these courses are different from DCI, for example.
Great. Thank you so much. I remember suddenly a memory flashback. We were in a beautiful traditional Chinese Tang Dynasty style tea house in Kyoto, and then Geshe Michael and Xiaoping are teaching one of the first organizational behavior classes for the first group of pioneer students of the EMBA MBA. And then after the class, I remember one student told us that just this one class, I have learned much more than my whole business career. Really inspiring to hear that. So Xiaoping, are we doing anything new to share with our friends in public about what's going on with our university in this month of May?
Oh, yes. In May, we want to offer another dedication gift. Is that on Beijing time, May 21st in the morning, and Arizona time, May 22nd in the afternoon, 20th on the afternoon, that we are going to have Diamond Silk public class. And we are having our professor Geshe Michael and to teach a live class on our EMBA course, one of our EMBA course called Values Centered Leadership. So personally, I'm really looking forward to it because I want to add something. Actually, one of the things that I've been working on is to designing the curriculum with our academic consultant and to choose the courses. And then because each course would have the Western style, and we'll add our unique part. Our main teacher is Geshe Michael. So he will, like when I was choosing the courses, then I was thinking the courses which would benefit the student more and which can pull out the best from Geshe Michael. His unique, rich business experiences like negotiation, all these upcoming value-centered leadership course. And this is an open class. So you are welcome to join online live, and you are welcome to invite all your friends and families to join.
Yeah, and then we have some posters that we will share during the show later.
Oh, they can show now.
Yeah, so that they can, people can sign up if you are interested. I think they will be ready later.
Oh, okay.
And oh, I remember that, you know, when these ideas first landed in the mind of the students, like you can see their eyes are brightening up, and then new ideas start to change their life immediately. So this is really precious thing that this university is creating. We would love to share with more and more people in the future. And thank you all for your supporting. And we are still recruiting students actually for the first class of EMBA, MBA. We call them the pioneer generations. So if you are interested, you are very welcome to contact us. And after May, in June, we will go back to Japan, Kyoto, to start the first official class of EMBA, MBA. And that's actually a very important milestone because we want to speed up our accreditation process. Our goal is 5 years, right?
Yeah.
To get accreditation, which is not easy. So Geshe, what would you expect? What do you expect to this coming June classes?
I think what people don't realize is that we have 18 or 19 organizations in the Worldview Network. And so far, for over 20 years, 30 years, we've avoided doing accreditation. And accreditation means when you get a degree from DSEU, that will be an American government recognized Master of Business Administration, MBA or EMBA. And it's extremely difficult and very expensive to get the legal framework and get all the permissions from the accreditation. So what accreditation means is huge amount of work for all of us, especially Joe Xiaoping, to do the necessary background, and that process will legally start in June. And I look forward to that, and a lot of classes in negotiation, organizational behavior, how to search for talent, human resources, things like that.
Great. We have last minute during this part. Both of you have met some of the first group of students. So my last question, and please give some short answers. What's your first impression on those people?
We had our first classes in Sakura season. Outside, people were walking around in kimonos and under the flowers. And inside, there was another flowering going on. And for me, it was very dear. There was a huge flowering going on. The whole city broke out into flowers. People were elegant, walking around in kimonos. And inside, these unbelievable students were so excited and so into it. And it gave me a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of hope for the new university. How about you?
I remember when we had the grand opening, and then Geshe Michael used an example. I would like to use it to end this section, is that our university is so very unique because we are applying the classical wisdom into and combine it with the modern education. So the content is so unique. It's just like the beautiful sakura, the cherry blossom flowers, and it has a special subtle fragrance. And this fragrance will attract the special people. So we believe that the students of Diamond Silk are very special, and they will be automatically attracted by our special mission and vision.
Great. We want to thank the Peachtree World News show again.
Thank you so much.
For giving us the chance and the stage, and we hope we can bring more good news in the future.
Thank you.
Now let's get back to Daniel.
Thank you.
That was amazing. It's so nice to have something that's so practical and applicable and accredited. That's big news. That's really cool. So thank you guys for doing that work. It's great. So no word from Juan. Like, I don't think he's gonna make it today.
You know, we got an email and he's not coming to work,
Oh,
but
man.
there's a video. I guess he's got a video explanation. So we're gonna have to share with everyone why Juan wasn't at work today.
It better be good.
Yeah, better be a good excuse.
I mean, we work hard. We work hard on this show.
So we'll see what Juan's up to. Actually, it's a surprise segment, and it'll come up after the break. So just a quick update on the auction. We're up to $1,500 on the auction, so that's very cool.
Whoa.
So if anybody wants to keep bidding, it's at 1,500. Thank you very much, and we'll keep going. But we're going to take a 10-minute break. So stay tuned. We're going to have some cool tunes brought to you by Johnny O himself. These are a tune made by Johnny O. So we hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for all the slides. So we have QR codes for all the upcoming Worldview events.
And if you want to be a part of that university, it should be in there as well. And if you're interested in joining the Mixed Nuts, all that stuff will be there. So
So actually, it's going to be a
Picture.
7-minute break. We'll be back at 7:05 Arizona time.
all right, we'll see you soon. All right, welcome back. We hope you had a nice break. We hope you were able to get all that information on the screen there. And don't worry, if you didn't catch it all, it's going to be posted up at the peachtreeworldnews.com under events, and we'll make sure all that info is there for you. So, right?
Yeah, and if you get a chance, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to the Peachtree World News channel on YouTube. So that way you can check out all of our old shows, all old recordings. We have a dear friend of ours, Anatol Nguyen, who's helping us with the YouTube channel. He's going to be taking all of the interviews and all of the teachings. John and Anatol are working together to make them separate segments. So that way, if you ever want to search for Yoga Studies Institute or Diamond Cutter Institute or Diamond Silk Entrepreneur University, you can immediately get taken to a quick little segment. You don't have to watch the whole show. You can just go and watch Geshe Michael's teaching from the show. So we're working on a really nice YouTube channel, but we would appreciate it if all of our viewers would go and subscribe to it. And so what's next? What do we got?
Well, for those of you who have difficulties in your lives, we're going to be talking Master Teacher Geshe Michael Roach will be talking about the benefits of disasters in our lives and how to enjoy your problems. So if that's something interesting to you, if you've got problems, then you should definitely perk up your ears. So I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. I got problems. So let's listen to how to actually enjoy those problems, turn them into our path. And this is a sneak preview to the upcoming retreat in Guadalajara. So if you haven't had a chance to register for the upcoming Lam Rim retreat in Guadalajara, this is going to give you a little taste of what you'll be missing if you don't come. So you have to sign up for that retreat. And without further ado, over to Geshe Michael Roach at the Blue Coffee Bar.
Hi, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, John. This is the corner that has the coffee bar here at Peachtree Cafe, and I really enjoy sitting here. It's a beautiful morning here. And Dennis Moore, our gardener, has made these beautiful, beautiful gardens here. It's a beautiful place to do the show. As those guys mentioned, we have been doing retreats once a year in the summertime in Guadalajara, Mexico. And it's been over 10 years that we've been doing retreats there. And we had a long break during the COVID. We had 3 or 4 years when we were not able to go to Mexico. We were not able to have those retreats. And I'm very happy to say that we're going back in person to Guadalajara. If you don't know about Guadalajara, it's a city in North Mexico, and it's a strange place in the world. It's one of the only cities in the world which has the same temperature all year. It's exactly 70 degrees in Fahrenheit. What's that in centigrade? I don't know. It's extremely pleasant all year. And it's also one of the most beautiful cities in the world. They call it the Garden City. And it's full of flowers and full of beautiful things. The people are amazing. And it's actually the only place where my wife, Veronica, agrees to go when I travel there because she likes it so much. 21 degrees centigrade. And so we're going to go back to Guadalajara. And this year, we're going to go back to, it's a retreat center, which is owned by the University of Guadalajara. It's out in the middle of a small forest in the middle of Guadalajara city. And it's very, very beautiful, extremely beautiful. And the cabins, the little houses, retreat houses are very, very nice and very elegant. And I don't know how they built it there, but it's right in the middle of the city, and it's big gardens and big forests, and very pleasant for walking around, very pleasant for light meditation retreat. And we'll be continuing the steps of the path. This is a book that my teacher taught me for 30 years. I heard it 3 times from him because I was his driver, as well as his laundry person and cook and other things. And because I had to drive him everywhere, I had the opportunity to hear this great, great book on the steps of the path. It's about 1,000 pages. We have done 43 retreats in the last 12 years or something to learn this book. And we're into a very, very exciting part right now. It's Tong Len, and which is kind of the theme of today's show. And those of you who maybe haven't heard of Tong Len or just started to hear about it, here's the structure of where we are. And today I'm going to give a little bit of a taste into the first few classes that we'll be having in Guadalajara. So Tong Len means, Tong means to give, and Len means to take. And Tong means to give other people our happiness, our success, to share our happiness with other people. Len means to make a special effort to take on the problems of other people, the troubles of other people. And this is part of a huge structure of kind of remodeling your mind. And we spent over 3 years remodeling this cafe Daniel and John worked extremely hard on this cafe for over 3 years. And now it's this beautiful French look style cafe. And remodeling your mind is very similar. You know, this cafe was here for 34 years. It got dark, it got dirty, it was kind of falling apart. And that describes our mind. And our mind is also like an old cafe. And we've had it for many years. And it's got bad habits. And there's a lot of darkness in it. And it's kind of like this big remodeling project called Tong Len. Tong Len has 5 different parts to it. And they are strange and they are unusual. And as our mixed nuts guys shared with us today, we had 3 mixed nuts today. I think we're having 3 other mixed nuts tomorrow. As they mentioned, we are dealing with books, 25 centuries of books, okay? And by the way, the average lifespan of a book in the West right now is about 2 months. I went to the airport bookstore to buy a copy of my friend's book, John Foley. He wrote a business book, and I went to buy it, and I was in a rush, and I saw there were 100 copies of his book, his new book, which I helped on in the airport bookstore. But I was too busy to buy a copy. And I thought, well, I'm going to come back in 2 days. I'll buy a copy when I get back. And I rushed and I made it to my flight. And I came back after 2 days. And I stopped by the bookstore and his book was gone. And I asked the owner of the bookstore, you know, that book by that Blue Angels pilot guy, you have the book? He said, oh, that's last week's book. And I'm like, what? And he said, oh, we got rid of them, you know, we sold as many as we could. And now we're waiting for the new books to come in. So really, in the West, in our culture, in our internet culture, a new book lasts about 2 weeks and then it's gone, you know. But in this ancient culture, one book out of 10,000 or one book out of 100,000 will survive. For 25 centuries, 25 generations will pass it on. And we have this beautiful, beautiful teaching, 5 parts of Tonglen. So first part is called Dakshen Nyamba. Say Dakshen Nyamba.
Dakshen Nyamba.
Yeah, good. Dak means me, Shen means other people, and Nyamba means equal. So it means that you and me have equal right to happiness. And it sounds okay. I don't think anybody will object to it. Nobody would say, do you have more right to happiness than people in this other country? Do you have more right to be happy than the person who's sitting next to you? And of course, every modern person would say, no, of course, we all have the equal right, but when actually we are behaving all day long, when we're actually doing things all day, we don't act that way. We always take care of ourselves first. And that's just a habit. I was talking to a psychiatrist yesterday about this idea, psychologist, and they said it has to do with caveman's mindset. And I said, what do you mean caveman's mindset? And they said, well, over human history, you have 2 adrenal glands in your brain. One interprets on one side of your brain, it interprets dangerous visual signs. If someone looks like that to you or they show their teeth, then that part of your brain will wake up and start to get scared. And then the other part interprets verbal clues. Like somebody says, I don't know. And then you start getting, then those two glands, they're glands in your brain. They're shaped like almond. They start to wake up your other thyroid, pituitary, adrenaline, and it's called danger reflex. So it's according to this psychology, taking care of yourself first is built into the human brain. When you get a sign of threat from another person, visual. And then when you hear some signs of threat, I don't know, or I don't think so. And then immediately the brain starts to react automatically. Autonomic nervous system starts to react. You get nervous, your breath speeds up, your blood starts to flow faster in case they attack you and cut you. The blood can patch it faster. So that's why we start to breathe faster, and because the blood has to flow faster, because we're expecting an attack with a stick, So this is all built into human nature, that we take care of ourselves first. It's built into our brains. And to reach a state of equality, true equality, you say equal rights, men and women, equal rights, different races, equal rights, different countries, equal rights, different ages, equal rights. And so this Tong Len, the very first part is intellectual, and it's to admit to yourself that other people have an equal right to happiness. Then to carry that out in actual practice, there's one cappuccino machine here. There's only a 1 cup of cappuccino. Who's gonna get the cappuccino first? It's very difficult to act on this. And by the way, this is just the beginning of the Tong Len process, which is that you have an equal right to happiness, and I have an equal right to happiness. And it's not our nature. Our brain is not built that way. So to change it is a lot of work. It's cool work. It's great work. You can learn to build a house, or you can learn to do Zoom calls, set them up, But if you can learn to modify your brain purposely to treat people equally, really equally, that's a great achievement. And that's only the very beginning of Tong Len, okay? Then the second, it's called Rang Chen Zi Kikyun. It means to think about, in order to get to this equality of mind, to think about how much trouble has been caused in your life by focusing on yourself. And that's a very deep meditation exercise. You sit down and you look at the trouble, the days in your life when you had trouble with other people personally, when you had trouble in relationships, and you analyze it. And what comes out is that the trouble came because you were focusing on yourself first. You were taking care of yourself first. So there's a meditation exercise, which we've been going through in the Lamrim retreats, of all the problems, learning to sit down, think about the biggest problems you ever had in your life. I don't know, for most of us, I think we can all agree it's old girlfriends and boyfriends or something like that. I mean, 90%, 80%. Then like 20% is old bosses we did in life. Usually the girlfriend and the boss are somehow mixed up. And we think about times when we weren't getting along, we were having some kind of personal trouble with people. And then you do this meditation analysis, and you come to analyze, why did I have trouble in that relationship? And then you start to realize it was because I was taking care of myself first. And that habit of taking care in English, in American English, we call it taking care of number one. And just that word, just that expression, number one, is already prejudiced. It's already biased towards yourself. I'm number one. There's a beautiful song by Sly and the Family Stone. I'm gonna watch out for number one. And it's like that. So that's the second step. The first step was try to see that different people have an equal right to happiness. Number two, try to meditate on all the big problems you had in your life And you will see that they came from taking care of yourself first. Then you go, it's a beautiful meditation. Then you go through all the good times you had in your life and the sweet things that happened in your life. And, you know, the times when you were really getting along with other people, or you were really feeling harmony with other people, and analyze it. And you will see Shen Chenzin, say Shen Chenzin, taking care of other people first. Okay. If you analyze the times in your life that went well, and you felt the most well-being, and you felt the most happy, if you analyze it in meditation, you will find that those were the years of your life, or those were the times in your life when you were focused on somebody else, and you were serving somebody else, and you were taking care of somebody else. So this attitude of taking care of other people, we're not, you know, advanced people, we're not special people. Like everybody, we have caveman brain. We take care of ourselves first. And if we're threatened, we get, the adrenaline starts going, and we're ready to fight. And so, but we can look back in our life, and we can see years or months of our life when things were sweet and things felt happy. And then during this third meditation, you examine the good times in your life, and you can see at the root of those good times, you were taking care of somebody else. You were focusing on somebody else. So that's a really beautiful thing. The fourth step is called Dakshen Jewa. So they say Dakshen Nyamje, say Dakshen Nyamje. Yeah, Nyam means equal rights. And then J means I will exchange taking care of myself with, I will switch it out, and I will take care of you first. And that takes a huge amount of meditational effort. You know, it's hard to build a house. It's hard to do a major project to build a new university. I have a friend who spent 15 hours straight with my tax attorney to try to figure out how to budget 3 years budgets for the university. Then she got really sick after that. I would get sick at the beginning. So it's exhausting. Those are incredible, difficult jobs, but the job of trying to switch ourselves and others is extremely difficult. And what we learned in that meditation was very interesting. And we did that at Diamond Mountain this last retreat. It's not just Jack's over there, I'm over here, and I switch Michael with Jack. And I try to think of what Jack would like to have after the show. Would he like a cinnamon roll or a smoothie? And it's not as simple as that. Dakshen Jewa, to exchange myself with Jack, means I put myself in Jack's body, and I look at Geshe Michael, and I try to guess how Jack feels about Geshe Michael because of how Geshe Michael treats Jack. So it's more deep than just putting yourself in the other chair. It's not that I just put myself in Jack's chair and look at Geshe Michael, and rather I'm supposed to put myself in Jack's chair, look at Geshe Michael, and understand how Geshe Michael treats Jack. And that's a deeper thing. And that meditation is extremely deep, okay? To get to that one, okay, now we're ready to start the class. To get to that fourth one, you need a fifth one, which is called Tong Len. And that's where you give other people your happiness, and you take other people's troubles. And that's what we're going to work on the rest of this class. We got about 5 more minutes, and we'll cover some more tomorrow. And then that Tong Len practice is what we're going to be doing in Guadalajara, Mexico. By the way, one of the big reasons we go to Guadalajara is that the visa situation is so easy. to come to the United States. The visa is difficult. It's difficult to get in. Mexico is much more open. Everybody can go there easily from all countries. And it's a wonderful place to have a vacation. And so I really enjoy going there. When we get there, we're going to be doing Tong Len. You've heard about Tong Len Service Grants. It's what this show, we're going to be donating some money to the Tong Len Service Grants. And what those grants mean is that, as Daniel mentioned, in the last 3-4 years, because of the economic uncertainty around the world, it has been difficult to come and volunteer at Diamond Mountain or other Worldview projects. It has, because of the financial stress, it's difficult to volunteer for things. And I'm thinking of this thing called, what's it called? There's a break year. What do they call it? Gap year. And this system started in England. And I met people doing charitable work. It's called a gap year. And in the 4th year of university, you don't come for your senior year, you take a year off. And I did that in my degree. I took my senior year off and then I came back and finished my degree. And it's a very valuable to take a break from your life and go volunteer for something. And so I'm not talking about your normal 20 to 25-year-old person who has extra time in their life and they're not tied down to a family yet, and they're not tied down to a career yet. I'm talking about the 40-year-olds, Nick, who already have a family, they already have a job. And it's a wonderful idea to take a break in your life and go for 6 months or go for a year and volunteer somewhere in the middle of your successful family life or your professional life. Take a year off, take 6 months off. And what these Tong Len Service Grants allow, they give you a scholarship or we give you a grant. We pay for your expenses for 6 months or a year. And you can take some time off. In Western universities, for professors, it's called a sabbatical. And sabbatical, it comes from the Jewish word Shabbat, which means Saturday or a religious day. So sabbatical means, it used to be a religious break, 6 months, 1 year, and go out and help people for 6 months or a year. And you can say, well, look, I can't afford that. I have to support my family. And the purpose of the Tong Len Service Grants and what we're supporting with the show today by Geshe Michael signing this rare first copy of the Diamond Cutter book is we are helping support those scholarships. Okay, tomorrow we're going to continue with this teaching. There's some cool detail about Tong Len where you learn to enjoy a good disaster. All right, going back to Daniel and John.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Geshe, for being with us today, for continuing the talk on Tong Len and giving the theme of our show some deeper meaning. I just would like to add, Geshe-la's talking about the side of the actual volunteer that benefits from the Tong Len Service Grant. And so that is sometimes a situation that not everybody has the opportunity in their life to take advantage of. But as we all know from studying the seed system, if you want something, then you find somebody else who wants the similar thing and you help them get it in some real way, and then you allow yourself to be very happy about it. So for those who don't see that as a realistic possibility, you can really actually donate to the Tong Len Service Grants, which would then plant the seed in your mind to see yourself being able to do something like that in the near future. So the real way to be able to do what Geshe is talking about is to plant the seed. So that's what we're doing with this show. What we're trying to provide the opportunity to support someone who's in a position to take advantage of a year at Diamond Mountain, for example. So we're trying to raise some money to put it into a fund that would then be a way of supporting that very idea. So on that note, here's again the textbook that we're using to raise money for this. And so other than that, I think we're finally up to the mystery of where is Juan Jasso?
Where is Juan Jasso?
Where in the world is our third amigo, the third guapo, as Geshe likes to call us?
Well, I think we've got some video. We might have gotten something from Juan to let us know what's going on with them. So I think let's find out what the heck is up with Juan.
Better be good, Juan. Oh man, this is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss you on the show this month. You do so much good hard work for the show, but I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you get to do this.
I am in Diamond Mountain Retreat Center in Arizona. This is a beautiful place, very, very quiet place. It's a great place to do meditation. So here's where I am, and that's what I'm about to do. 1 month silent retreat. We have been taking some classes, training, practicing for a few years, and this is a great chance now that some friends and I are gonna be renting some of these cottages to go for it. 1 month meditation retreat. These days we are trying to do it at least once a year, 1 month silent retreat a year, but last year I didn't make it. So this year I was planning on it for a long time, but you know how sometimes things happen. Even if I was planning for it, I was not really ready. So then a very good friend of mine, Daniel, who you know, Daniel from this show as well, he really encouraged me to try to fundraise for it, because I was really not ready, financially especially. I was not ready to do the whole trip, the whole investment. So I did. I basically send a letter to different friends who have done this kind of retreats, who know what's going on, who really believe in this training and this process. And then they helped me little by little. Many people gave me like a little help with that. And then at the end, between many people, I was basically able to afford this experience. What advice do you give me for the retreat? You have done retreats like this.
Yeah, I've done 10 months, 11 months of retreats like this in my life.
Separate in a few times?
9 months straight.
Wow.
And 1 month at a time, 2 of those before, several weeks before,
So
several
you know what
days
it
before.
is
So
to be locked down for a month.
it's amazing, really.
When I talk to my friends, we all have big expectations, but at the same time, we try not to necessarily force any particular outcome. It's more about, as far as I understand, right? Because this is my first time of a month retreat. As far as I understand, it's more about getting to know the practice, getting familiar with it. We have like some advices and meditation practices that we're gonna be doing. So it's getting familiar with them, getting familiar with yourself in that stage, in that process. And of course, I hope like I come up with more clarity, new ideas. Being in this mood, like quiet, let you see what's kind of the theme happening in your mind. So that actually gives you information on what good things you're doing and what things you can improve. Um, I think, as I say, it's good. I will recommend people to get familiar little by little with it. Even sometimes during your daily life, if you can have time for yourself when you are quiet, maybe even like not listening to music, not watching the TV for at least like 15 minutes, kind of just sitting down, contemplating what's happening in your mind, how do you feel, what kind of thoughts are you having, Those things help you to get familiar. And well, here the thing is like you're doing it for a very extensive time. So it gives you time to go deeper, to examine a little further what's going on, and then allows you to work with it basically.
The way you change your mind in one of these retreats, when you come out, you have so much more to offer to people. So I look forward to working with you on next month's show.
Thank you very much. We have different sessions during the day with practice of meditation. We have different sessions of yoga or exercise, walks, contemplations. Sometimes you want to study some material that helps you to understand better your practice. And most importantly, I think you go deep. You go deep in whatever you're doing. You start building up a lot of energy that's going to make all those practices more and more powerful through the month. So it is important that the place is conducive, like you can have access to, I don't know, being warm enough when you need to be warm enough, cool enough when you need to be cool enough, water sources, food, everything. And this place is perfect for that because it's designed exactly for that purpose. There is a lot of wonderful staff who works here who make sure that you have everything you need.
This is the cottage numbers which go into that mailbox.
This is a beautiful cottage.
And the condition of silence and quietude, that is super, super important. It's also here. So I will say those are like the main things you have to consider. If any of you is interested to help Diamond Mountain, I will say one of the best ways of doing it is basically buying what they sell, meaning come and do retreat, you know. Try it, use the product that this place is providing, what it's made for, and spend some time here. It can be just like a weekend, it can be like 3 days, 5 days, whatever you want. Even a day you could come and just stay here, try to connect with nature and with yourself. That's gonna be great for yourself. You are supporting the service of this place, and as I was saying, like anytime you improve yourself, other people can get benefit from it. So you're helping the center, you're helping yourself, you're helping people around you. So that I would say is probably one of the best ways you can help the center. Another way, if you really like it, you can come, check online what are the requisites, but you could be a volunteer. There is a lot of wonderful people who come here, they make friends, they get involved in different projects, they get to learn a lot of new skills. You get to also learn a little bit of the system and the training of get to know your mind, get to know your like how the things we do, we say, we speak are building our life, our reality, and some techniques to improve it for sure. And also these days, Diamond Mountain is having a very interesting project called the Tong Len Grant. It's a very interesting project. And for sure, that will be a great way that you can help. You can donate to this grant. They are helping a lot of people who are being refugees mostly, who may need to come to United States and start a new life, to get a new job. It's a great project. You can also get to know more about it, but it's just something new that is happening, and it really has a great potential to help a lot of people. So for sure, this Tong Len grant is a very, very good idea.
We'll miss you on the show.
Okay, have fun.
But we'll still have you.
Have fun, yeah. Okay, bye. See you next month.
Yay, so there it is. We figured out where Juan Jasso's at.
Juan, we love you. We miss you. We're sending you lots of love, and we hope that you're being changed in wonderful ways. It's really nice to see you there. So thank you for doing Retreat for the World. So.
And get back. I'm doing all your work, okay? We need you back.
I think you should have to clean up after this. We'll save it for him.
Awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. You got it. You heard it from Geshe, Juan.
So yeah, as you saw, he's on that beautiful property. It's like it's so nice that you got to see, if you've never been to Diamond Mountain, to see the staff that they have working there, the facilities. It's really made to help you get into a deep place and to have a beautiful retreat. So if you can help in any way, you don't have to put thousands of dollars into this book. You can, you can rejoice for the people who can give this much, and you can also just give $10, $20, $5 right there. Thank you, Brian, for the service grants. And you can just give whatever you can if you really want to help somebody and plant good seeds for yourself to be able to have a retreat lifestyle. Then give what you can. It's really helpful.
Yeah, and is there any? I mean, we've gotten some feedback that 2 hours is a little bit long for some people, so we're very happy that we made it under an hour and 45 minutes for today's show. So everybody can have some time to just go on with their day. Hopefully you got something beautiful from the show that you can take with you throughout your day. And tomorrow we're doing it again. So we'll have Geshe back. We actually have another segment coming from Diamond Mountain on the other side of the fence. So we have Flavia with a cooking segment for the Peachtree Healthy Eating Show. And she's showing a healthy dish that she's making as she's at Diamond Mountain, taking care of the people who are in a 30-day retreat. So we'll get a little sneak peek into that. And we're gonna have an interview talking about the DCI Latin America tour coming up. And we have Geshe Michael continuing with the Tong Len teaching. And so we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Don.
This gift I give to you. This gift I give to you. This gift I give to you.